The Sicarus is one of those weapons that once upon a time people knew about it and used it, and now we don't. Enter Incarnon Genesis adapter. Hey guys, welcome back. As always, my name is Leyzar, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Incarnon Sicarus Prime. As per the usual, I'm going to give you an endgame setup, but I'm also going to be touching on the new player part as well. That said though, please bear in mind that my builds and guides usually take that new player friendly tone. In case you're a veteran and you already know most of this stuff, please bear with me. The Incarnon Sicarus Prime in its normal form is still, well, basically a Sicarus, and that means a semi-automatic burst pistol that will be firing not one, not two, but 3 bullets in rapid succession, and it will be consuming them from your magazine. Nowadays, however, if you go into options, semi-automatic weapons are no longer a concern. Go into accessibility and toggle on fire manual trigger weapon continuously. So you can give your fingers a bit of a rest and you can basically transform semi-automatic weapons in pseudo-automatic weapons. Thanks Steve for that one. You will have to get those headshots, however, and the weapon does have a climbing recoil, which means sometimes it will be a bit difficult to get all of the free bullets in an enemy's head. Because that's the way we charge that Incarnon bar, and boom, Incarnon form. And in Incarnon form, it's still a semi-automatic hit scan burst pistol that fires free from the magazine. And the maximum charge is gonna be 90, not 60. However, you get more critical chance, more critical damage, a little bit more damage, and a cool effect that you've seen before in Incarnon weapons. I'm talking about the insta-link to additional targets. Yes, the hit scan insta-link to additional targets. You've seen it in the Teapot Prime and in the Leto as well. Essentially, the damage that I'm doing to the primary target, 100% of it will carry to 2 additional targets. Depending on the fire rate, it may seem like it's linking to more than 2, but in all actuality, multi-shot and different instances of damage can link to different targets. The point is, 1 instance of damage will be linking to 2 additional targets. And that's pretty much it. Let's have a closer look at them talents or incarnations, shall we? Level 1 you don't care about, level 2 you got a fantastic choice between 2. One is clearly better than the other, but Feigned Retreat increases base damage by 35 and 40% damage to enemies below half health. Kinda like an Executioner talent, and believe it or not, this is the better talent. But wait, you'll see exactly why we're not going for this one. King's Gambit increases base damage by the same 35, but 0% critical chance on body shots and 150% critical chance on headshots. Fantastic if you're getting headshots all the time. Let's be honest, are you the person that gets headshots all the time? I don't think so. And considering how fast things usually move in Warframe, I would urge you against this talent, simply because it's extremely punishing to the user. So obviously go for Feigned Retreat. Yes, we would if it would work, but it doesn't. So we're going for King's Gambit. So there you go. Now allow me to explain. Right now it's bugged. They will fix it. After they fix it, definitely go for Feigned Retreat. And it's not the special part that doesn't work, it's the base damage that simply does not apply. For the time being, because of that reason, go for King's Gambit. And when they fix it, hooray. Next, at level 3, what do we got? We got a little bit of accuracy and minus weapon recoil. Here's the thing, that weapon recoil 40% with the 60% that you can get from Exodus slot 100%. It makes the weapon dead still. I enjoy Void's Guidance, but it's not the only useful talent. Now keep in mind, this only really applies to the base version of the weapon, all of these talents. Mostly, I'll explain. In Incarnon form, the weapon is dead still anyway, so you don't care about these. 50% reload speed. Does it only help the normal form? No, because reload speed also affects how fast your weapon actually transforms, so it is a worthwhile talent. And finally, Extended Volley increases base magazine capacity by 9. Again, this is only useful for the normal form. So either go for Rapid Reinforcement or Void's Guidance, as is your pleasure. And the final talent, believe it or not, they actually did something new here. Increases base critical chance by 14. Now, this is not the new part. Survivor's Edge increases base critical chance by 9 and base status chance by 9. Still not new, but the last one actually is new. Wise Man's Regard increases base status chance by 30% of current critical chance up to 40%. Please read this one carefully. Increases base status chance by 30% of current critical chance up to 40%. And we're gonna be going for this one. Now keep in mind, with the Sicarus Incarnon or Incarnon Sicarus, you're gonna be able to get a 100% critical chance, and past that point, even though there is a real benefit, I would focus more towards the status chance. Now, in case you're more of a newer player and you came across the Sicarus Prime and you're thinking, oh man, this must be an amazing weapon, stop right there. The Sicarus Prime on itself without the Incarnon Genesis adapter is not good, and you should not build it. Instead, look towards something a little bit more AoE, such as the Atomos. Link the cards right now. That's right, I'm telling you not to invest into this one until you have the Incarnon Genesis adapter. So don't throw it away, keep it, and get the adapter later. If you must play it now because you like it, because whatever else, you can try a build such as this one. Today, however, we're going to be focusing on the endgame setup. If I was to showcase a standard Sicarus Prime build, then it would not be representative to your experience, simply because as soon as you install an Incarnon Genesis adapter, like my weapon has, the base stats do change. So it's time for endgame. We're gonna be talking about faction modifiers. Do you need them? Well, no you don't, but for the maximum amount of damage, Incarnon weapons, you should definitely have them in your arsenal. If you're not gonna be going from Prime Expel something or Expel something, then try Elementalist, Pistol Elementalist. Right now on the weapon we got 75% critical chance in primary, 90% in Incarnon form, and 102% status chance. And proc priority is gonna be as follows, with over 70% chance for blast. Yes, my friends, we are making blast on this one with prime heated charge and frostbite. Of course, galvanized shot is mandatory. Lethal torrent, this one is gonna be your exchange out for a Riven mod, and not only. I would go for a Riven mod on this one because it's prio 4 out of 5. We're gonna be showcasing the weapon without the Riven just so you can see what it's capable of, and then I'm gonna give you some recommendations for the Riven. Of course, galvanized diffusion, prime target cracker, and prime heated charge. When it comes to crit chance, because the one weakness of this weapon in Incarnon form is that small-ish Incarnon charge, I'm talking about the magazine size, I would not go for Prime Pistol Gambit over Creeping Bullseye. Go for Creeping Bullseye and keep your ammo, and you'll see exactly why in a second. So, we're going to be shooting a bunch of Orokin, so therefore Prime Expel, Orokin, secondary Encumber on that one. We're going to be applying a ton of statuses. Encumber with Galvanized Shot together make absolute beautiful love, plus the benefit of all the statuses that are being applied. As for a Sentinel, as per usual, we're going to be going for the Diriga. Keep in mind that nowadays companions did receive the rework 2.0 or 3.0 or whatever point something, so they are a lot more powerful than before. For the time being, we're still going to be using the Hellstorm in combination with the Diriga. As for Warframe buffs, a little bit of Avenger is the most important part, because right now you're at 90% critical chance with this one, you're going over 100. Gross projection also helps out, and you can also use something like Arcane Precision for more flat damage, but considering what you're running with Galvanized Shot and Encumber, you don't really need any more flat damage than that. So, we're going to be spawning Eximus, Corrupted Heavy Goon Eximus, and the reason why I went for Eximus is because I want something a bit more tough. Usually a single shot in the head gets you 90% charge, as you see here. Go for 100% charge and take a look at what the weapon does. I'm going to do a single burst into this guy. Essentially any adjacent targets dies, and it's not just headshot, it's the body shot. Damage is just simply insane on this one. And I still got, what, 60% charge, and I destroyed like 20 Corrupted Heavy Goons. Heavy Goons Eximus with the Steel Pad modifier enabled. The weapon just absolutely tears house without any issue whatsoever. Part of that reason is the fact that the chain doesn't lose any damage on bounce. It's only 2 additional targets, but still 100% of the damage. It's just beautiful. Poetry in motion, especially now since it's all fully stacked and the weapon just like goes through everything. There is a slight issue, however. Did you notice anything? Chances are probably not, but let me show you what happens to your damage when the weapon's charge goes down. Corrupted Heavy Goons level 200. We're gonna charge the weapon to fully 100% charge. Take a look at the damage, rough damage. 1100 something, right? 1100 something, 1000 something, 900, 800, 700? What in the devil is going on? Hold on a second. Let's just empty some of this here magazine. By the way, this is unmodded, so you can see the actual numbers easier. And now I'm down to under 100 damage. I'm not sure what's going on. My assumption is that this is a bug since it's not stipulated anywhere in the mechanics, and I don't see why Digital Extremes would do this. But you're only gonna be getting full damage at full Incarnon charge. As the charge goes down, aka the Incarnon magazine, so too does your damage. It goes to like 10% of its initial value. Less than 10% even. Again, I would assume that this is a bug. I would not fret, I'm sure the developer will fix it. The only question that remains is, hold on, is it doing more damage than it's supposed to considering how it's acting? It could be that the damage that it's supposed to be doing is roughly right in the middle of the magazine. Does that make any sense to you? Regardless, for the time being, it absolutely shrinks, but as the magazine goes down, your damage kind of goes out the window as well. I said I would give you some options for ribbons, right? Multi-shot above everything else, then I would go for some critical damage, an element depending on what you're trying to do. If you're going for blast, that's definitely a good idea to further increase blast with something like heat or cold, a harmless negative as per usual. But if you get something like multi-shot critical damage and a harmless negative, then you're good to go. Instead of a faction modifier, we're gonna be going for Pistol Elementalist. Welcome to Deimos. Now let's see how the weapon performs in a normal gameplay environment. This is Steel Path Survival versus the Murmur. And of course, considering I was absolutely shredding Corrupted Heavy Goons Eximus in the Simulacrum, these fodder enemies are just gonna be getting annihilated with a single volley, as you might expect. Now I say volley because that means a single burst. Obviously, nothing will stand before you when it comes to the regular enemies. It will just come down to you if you can survive or not. I chose Citrine this time because I chose Citrine this time for obvious and obviously objective reasons. Now, considering the bug is still going on, what I do when I get low on my Incarnon charge, I just switch out of it and try to get another charge again, because otherwise I'm just simply losing too much damage. Full charge, full damage. Now, I can kill these fodder enemies all day, but it's not really gonna prove much of anything. We should definitely try this on an Acolyte, huh? We got a charge, Angst is coming our way. I'm not gonna use Citrine abilities, I'm just gonna use the gun. Here comes Angst. And there goes Angst. Time to draw some conclusions on the Incarnon Sicarus, and I feel this is a fantastic weapon, but it's very difficult to properly gauge or properly review a weapon when it comes out bugged. But you know, it's only their first or their second or their, I don't know, 20-something Incarnon weapon. They'll eventually get the hang of it. And when they do actually fix the problems with the weapon, it will be a whole lot more consistent than it is now. Honestly, the biggest issue is not the level 1 talent, but the fact that your damage simply disappears the lower your charge is. It's just weird in gameplay, because you start off, you're doing millions, you're destroying everything, and then, wait a second, wasn't I doing damage in the millions and now I'm doing like 100,000? What's going on? Again, this is an issue that will eventually be fixed, so I wouldn't worry about it too much if you see this review at a later date. As for the weapon's proficiency and power itself, well, here's the thing. It has the power, it also has a pseudo AoE form. I know what you're gonna say, dude, it's only linking to 2 additional targets. Yes, but you are getting full on 100% of the damage. It's not an issue when it comes to wave clear or KPH, KPS, etc. The problem lies elsewhere. The Incarnon charge. The Incarnon charge, unfortunately, is what's keeping this weapon from competing with the big boys. And of course, I'm referring to something like the Tox Assist. With a maximum of 90 Incarnon charge, you're gonna have to consistently charge this weapon. Not that it's something overly hard to do, but it's something that players don't need to do when something like the Torrid exists. Or the Tox Assist, for that matter, since we're talking about secondary weapons. That is the issue here. If the weapon had at least double the Incarnon charge, then it would be absolutely fantastic. As always, my name is Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe only if you enjoyed the content. If you got any feedback for me, let me know in the comment section down below. Also in the comment section down below if you want to suggest any particular type of content. Tune in to our Twitch live stream so you can see these weapons discovered and tested live. And if you love the content and you want to help me keep making it, consider supporting us via Patreon. There's going to be a link in the upper right portion of the screen right about now. That's it. Shameless plugs done. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.